Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is an exciting one. It is a Project Pan tag video. So this tag was created by Millie Davidson. She asked myself as well as a bunch of other creators to take part of this tag. And of course I said yes, I am so honored. So I'm going to list Millie down below as well as all the other creators that are partaking in this tag. It's going to be all about project panning. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, let's just get into these questions. All right, so if you're coming from Millie's channel or any other channel, welcome. My name's Melissa. I, of course, do project panning videos, but I also do other types of videos, reviews, trying new techniques, just having fun with makeup, trying to be more mindful with my purchases, but I do also still like to try new things as well. So my project panning style is I usually do a completionist project pan, a rolling style project pan where I have a full face of products that I'm trying to use till completion. And then I have a separate eyeshadow project pan where that's more of my usage. I am a slow panner, so for eyeshadow, it just makes sense that I try to rotate through my collection a little bit quicker, or else I'll have an eyeshadow for 2 years that I'm working on before I hit pan. And those videos tend to go up the second week of every month. So getting to these questions here, I have 15 questions. We're just gonna get started. The first question is, how long have I been project panning? I kind of touched on my journey a little bit just a minute ago, but I started project panning in September of 2022. So it has been officially 2 years since I've been project panning. I started my channel, I think in 2021. No, I started my channel in 2022, early 2022, around January. I am kind of a little bit newer to YouTube, and I decided I wanted to start doing Project Pan because I was gravitating towards that content. That was the kind of content I started to really get interested in, less of the new makeup releases and more towards just using your makeup. And I figured, well, if this is the type of content I like to watch, this is the type of content I should create. So I just started doing it. I've had a lot of ups and downs with project panning and just kind of finding my groove. I'm still finding my groove, if being honest. So it's been a journey. I haven't been project panning probably as long as some other people. I definitely used to be in the mindset of just hoarding all of my things and keeping them nice and pristine. And I've really turned a page, and now I like to see my makeup used and loved and feel like I'm getting my money's worth. So that's kind of where I started project panning. The second question, now we're going to get into actual products, is my favorite product I've ever panned. So there hasn't been that many products that I've panned, like I said, since I've started not that long ago. And a lot of my things I'm using until I finish them. So I don't have that many options to choose from. And that coupled with the fact that I'm a slow panner. So my favorite thing that I've ever project panned is this highlighter. This is a Dior highlighter. I brought it in just to hit pan, not to complete. With powder products, I just try to hit pan because I can't be working on this for longer than 2 years. But this is my Dior Lace Effect highlighter. I have special memories to this highlight. It was one I've talked about many a times on my channel, so I don't want to get too far into my story here, but it is the first highlighter I bought. I was not a smart 18-year-old. I opened a credit card to purchase this highlighter right when I was getting into makeup, and bad financial decisions were made back then. But when I bought this highlighter, I was too afraid to use it because it is so special. This compact is fully metal. It had like this beautiful lace design imprint on it that I've now worn away. And I finally just decided, like, I wanted to get some use out of it. I wanted to show it some love. So I finally did. I actually did find one of these brand new, still in its box, on eBay, and I swiped it up for a very affordable price because this is now like a collector's Dior product in makeup. It goes for around $150 on eBay sometimes. I couldn't believe it when I first talked about this and looked it up, and I found it for like $40. So So I super just took advantage of that. And now I keep that one pristine in my makeup memory box, but this one has some love on it. I'm very happy about it. It's still a very beautiful highlight. It is a little bit powdery, which is why I was able to hit pan a little bit quicker than maybe I thought I was going to be able to. But I'm very happy that now this looks like I actually used it and it's not just sitting in a little makeup museum. So this is just the favorite product that I've ever panned. Question 3 is the most frustrating pan I've ever completed. So for that is one I'm still working on. This is one that I brought in at the very beginning, my very first project pan intro. I brought this blush in. So it's been 2 years, and you know, they always say panning a blush is hard, but panning a blush is hard. This is my Ciate London blush in Date Night. It's one of my oldest blushes, and I had a goal to just hit pan. Like I said, it's been 2 years, and guess what? I hit pan. My last project pan video, my update went up last Thursday, the video before this, so I'll link it up above where I'm showing this beautiful pan. It's super teeny tiny. Can you even see it? But there it is. And I'm very happy. I'm gonna work on it a little bit more. I think expand it before I roll it out. I did already pick out my next blush to hit pan on, but this one was a feat. This one really tested my dedication to Project Pan. It really just showed me that Project Pan is not something that's just fun videos to watch. It takes some dedication behind the scenes and really working on your products and making sure that you're using them so you have a good update, but also like so you can see progress, because if you don't use it, you're not gonna see progress, unfortunately. So this took a lot of love, a lot of dedication, and it is definitely my most frustrating product I've ever panned. Moving on to question 4 is a product that got the better of me and I couldn't finish. I really try not to roll products out. I try to really be mindful and think about what I'm pulling into my project pan, but I do have something that came to mind as far as something that got the better of me, and it is this NARS lip product. I don't wear a lot of lipstick. It's something that I really have to remind myself to use, just because I'm kind of just like a chapstick wearer. I don't know why I have all these lip products, but it's something that I just don't use. So this is the NARS Velvet Lip Glide in Bound, and it is my favorite lip product, which is why I brought it in to my project pan. Here's what it looks like. I just love the formula. I love that it glides on the lips, but it's a little bit shiny. It's not super matte. But the problem with this is that I just couldn't ever see any visual progress. So it became very frustrating, and I just couldn't gauge where I was at. I ended up pulling this out and putting in another lip product in its place, and I'm kind of just panning this on the side, using it here and there. I keep it up on my like acrylic desk with kind of my Shop My Stash items. I do also do Shop My Stash. That's kind of my project where I rotate items a little bit more versus completing items. And yeah, it's just, I pulled it out because it was just frustrating me so much. I would really love to finish this. It is my favorite product, and NARS discontinued this formula. So I'd like to feel like I got my money's worth, but there's just no windowing, no nothing whatsoever. And I use this many a times and still no windowing. It's just a product. It sticks to the side. I mean, when I do this, like I can see I'm making progress. So I don't know. Overall though, this one just got the better of me. I ended up pulling it out, which makes me a little bit sad because I am someone, I will make sure I finish something once I put my mind to it, but I just couldn't with this one. Hopefully one of these days it gets finished, just kind of being on my desk here and there. But until then, it just stays in the most frustrating category. Moving on to question 5 is a product I thought would be easy, but was actually hard. I knew this one instantly because when I first started my project pan, I told myself like, okay, I need to have some gimmies, right? I need to at least keep this project moving, keep myself motivated. I don't want to like jump in 2 feet and have all these hard products. So I pulled in my Too Faced bronzer. This is the Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. Of course, now you'll see this has pan in it. But when I pulled this in, I thought this was going to be a very easy product to pan because it already had the rings showing. So I was like, I'm not that far from pan, right? I know they say Too Faced eyeshadows are hard to pan. They're very deep, which I've never done. I'm taking your word for it. But Too Faced complexion products are also hard to pan. Like I said, I can see 1, 2, almost 3 rings on this, and it still took me, I think, 9 months to pan this bronzer and get to this point. It is very thin. Like, I can even see, how can I show you? Around the edges here, like, I've worn away at the sides. I am not someone who really tries to pinpoint and hit pan fast. I try to use the product as naturally as possible and hit pan naturally. So I was not digging my brush in trying to get pan, but naturally I had already seen rings on this, so I thought I would hit pan fairly quickly, roll in a new bronzer. That did not happen. This took me quite a long time and I thought it was going to be easy, but it just ended up not being easy. I love this bronzer so much. Like I said, I pulled this product in when it was already showing the rings on my very first intro video. So the rings showing was all natural use. That's how much I love this bronzer. I like having it and keeping it around. I don't know if I will try to finish this anytime soon. I might try to hit pan on some other bronzers before I do that, but this one was not as easy as I was thinking. Now, question 6 is the opposite, a product I thought would be hard, but was actually easy. So of course I don't have this product because I finished it, but for this I actually put all of my hydrating primers that I've ever panned. So I usually do a full face, so primer included as far as my project pan goes, and I usually pull in a hydrating or glowy primer. So I've had like the purple Becca primer that I finished. I've had the Guerlain Lure primer that I finished. I think I've had one more that I finished, and right now I have the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. The reason I pull those in is because they're not my favorite types of primer. I prefer a pore blurring primer, so I'm trying to get all of those hydrating primers just out of my collection and just have maybe one hydrating primer, and after that just have my pore blurring primers. Primer's really a category that I'm trying to make smaller, minimize that collection, because it's not something that I feel the need to really try a bunch of different primers like I do with eyeshadow. So I actually thought that this was going to be a category I was going to struggle with, a category that wasn't going to move very quickly through my project pan, but I actually found it to be easier than I thought it would. I still go in with my pore blurring primer, but once I just set myself up with a routine of using it every single time I did my makeup, it went fairly quickly. I mean, I'm still using it normally. It still took me 6 months to finish one whole primer, but I at least got into the habit of using it, and that really helped, just having it at the top of my desk. It was something I thought I was going to have to really force myself to use and every time be like, man, I have to put this on. But really, at the end of the day, it was a glorified primer, and I'm able to just now kind of use it as a step. Is it a step I love to do? No, but I'm at least getting through my primers, and that feels really good. So that's the product that I thought would be a little bit harder, but I'm finding my stride with it, and it's going pretty well. Now, question 7 is my favorite project pan series. I think my favorite project pan series is Panning Cats and Dogs. I really love that one because I love animals, of course. I'm a very big dog person. If you didn't know and you're new, I actually, when this video goes up, I will be in Spain volunteering at a dog rescue for galgos, which are Spanish greyhounds. I love dogs so much. I really want to be a part of the rescue community for animals. So that's just my favorite because it's the most fun. I don't take part in any of those other project pan videos like Deck of Panning, A to Z, any of those. I really stick to my 2 project pans, the rolling project pan and my eyeshadow project pan. That's really a usage project pan. But I stick to those because that's the easiest to track. There's a lot, if you pan, like, you know, there's just a lot that goes into panning, not just using the products, but tracking the products, making sure I'm getting my uses, my photos, all that stuff. There's a lot that goes into project panning that you wouldn't think of, that's very time consuming behind the scenes than just getting on camera and trying a foundation or trying an eyeshadow. It's a lot of work. So I don't have the brain capacity to be using all those different products for different projects, etc., and keeping track of them all. I wish I did. I'm not there yet, maybe in the future. But panning cats and dogs is one that I've thought about taking part of. I don't know if it's a project that's going to continue on next year or anything, but it is my favorite to watch, and I always prioritize those videos. We're getting through these. We're on question 8, is one product type I will always include in my project pans. I think that I will always probably include foundation. Foundation is my favorite category to review and test. I have a whole playlist. I'll link that above as well as down below. But because of that, foundation is definitely the category that is the most out of control. I mean, it takes a while to get through a foundation already, and I have a lot of foundation. I'll also put my foundation inventory video up above and down below if you're interested in seeing my inventory for that. But it is outstanding, the amount of foundation that I own. And I just love testing them. I can't help it. It's my favorite step. I like giving my thoughts on foundations even more than eyeshadow. So it's one that I'll always include because I like having one that I'm focusing on trying to get out of my collection. As much as I love trying different ones, I want to feel like I'm also finishing one up to completion, which takes a lot of time for me just in between my reviews, etc. So that's one that I always want to remain focused on, I think, and always have in my project pan. Yeah, for sure, definitely. I don't even want to say the number. That's how much foundation that I have. Now, question 9 is a product I'm currently struggling on, but I'm sticking with it. Now, this is my favorite question because I actually need your help if you can help me. If you saw my last project pan that went up last Thursday, you will see that I have a contour in lieu of a bronzer for my project pan that I'm trying to finish up. It is the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in Light. Now, in September, I hit pan on this contour, and then it cracked. It just like started to crumble in the center. I do only use this for nose contour just to try and get use out of it. So I repressed it, but I am new to repressing. I don't repress often because I've never had to since I've never really done project pan. So I repressed it and it's still starting to crack. So if you have any ideas on what I'm doing wrong with repressing this, I would love to know. Are there just some products that are very difficult to repress? I have no idea because I also repressed my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer and I've had no issues with that. But I repressed it. It started to crack and crumble and I turned it over. It completely fell out. So I repressed it again. This is my second time repressing it and it's still cracking. And the hard part is that I travel a lot. If I was home all the time, just kept my products out on my makeup desk, this wouldn't be an issue because I wouldn't be afraid of it breaking. I could be a little bit more careful with it, but I do travel often. This is not my normal background. If you're new, I'm just doing what I can with what I have here. I travel quite often. I have been since 2018 when I left the US and moved to Europe. So my life's always just up in the air and I need products that aren't going to crumble on me. And I want to finish this. I don't want to get rid of it and give up on it. I hit pan. I was so proud of myself after like 150 uses. It took me to hit pan on this. And now I just don't know if I'm going to be able to continue on with this contour. I have considered like maybe do I just use it as a loose contour and break it up and put it in a little jar to use. But I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't think I do. I would really just like to have it repressed and sturdy. I thought maybe the first time I just repressed it too hard and that's why it was cracking. So I repressed it a lot softer and it didn't like press down so hard and really pack it in, but it's still just cracking there. And I'm also, like, I've used it a few times now, swiping my brush across the whole thing instead of in the center like I was before. So maybe that helps, but this is one I need help with. I'm really trying to push through and use this up all the way, but I am struggling. I'm struggling with this contour here. Then the very last question, question 10, is one tip or hack I use in my project pans. This was the hardest question for me. I don't know if I have any tips or hacks. The only thing I could really think of is to just be careful when choosing your products for project pan, especially if you're taking part of different project pans that go around on YouTube that are prompt based, because I see a lot of people who will hyper focus on one category and they're just setting themselves up for failure. You really need to spread yourself out when it comes to the categories to try and stay motivated. At least that's what I find. So don't work on 6 or 7 lipsticks because you won't see that much progress if you're trying to finish them up to completion. If you're going to have a lot of the same type of product in a category, set usage goals, not completion goals. And that way, like, you can still move along. You need to find a good balance between finishing up products, hitting pan, or just having usage goals. Because if not, I find that if you just don't have a lot of movement, not even a lot of movement, but any movement, if you have no movement for months on end, it gets tiring, it gets hard to do, and you know, day in, day out, you're like, why am I reaching for this blush? There's no point in it. But you're also reaching for 10 other blushes, so it's going to take you 10 times as long to hit pan if your goal is to hit pan on every single one of those. So that's my kind of tip, is to just make sure when choosing your products that you're choosing something from everything, not just one category that you're trying to finish up, and to set realistic uses. After that, those are all the questions though. This was really fun to do. Like I said, I was really just, it pulled at my heartstrings a little bit to be asked to be part of this project. So thank you, Millie, and thank you to all the creators for letting me be part of it. It was super fun to do. It was my first like group tag and I'm really excited. So let me know down below whose channel you came from, if any. Make sure to check out all the other creators' videos down below, but this is where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.